All right, everybody, welcome back to another Factorio video. Today we're going to continue where we left off in tutorial level 4, I think is where we're at. Single player, load. I think it's, yeah, tutorial level 4, that's where we were at. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and load into that, and let's keep going. So over the weekend, I was playing a little bit of Factorio with my buddy, Mr. Nick. And so as a result, there's a couple of new tips. So let me go ahead and just clear those out of the way for you guys real quick. So first is the electric pole connections, right? So like you guys already know, electric poles automatically connect to each other as you place them, right? Especially if you click and drag or click and hold while you run, the poles will automatically connect. Now, if you want to, you can manually connect poles with copper cable. That's basically what that means. There's not too much reason to do this, but it's there if you want it. I personally don't have much reason to do this. There might be a reason, I just don't know what it is. But all good. All right, and then the next one is the logistics network. This we're not going to get into until free play. This is one of the things that's locked by the full game, basically. So if you've downloaded the free version of Factorio and you're going through all the tutorial levels with me, right, all the way through tutorial level 5, you're not going to get to bots, which is a little sad because bots are super cool. Basically, bots are, there's two types of bots. You have logistics bots. Logistics bots will basically move things around your factory for you in terms of resources. So for example, you can have your factory producing things like belts. You know, we use a lot of belts, right? So you can have your factory producing belts. And instead of you needing to run to wherever your chest is that has belts, you could have your logistics bots bring them to you. So that way you can keep doing what you're doing, and your logistics bots will run back and forth, picking up the belts for you and bringing them back to you. So logistic bots are super cool for restocking on items that you need, commonly used items. Logistics bots will also help you trash items. So if you have stuff in your inventory that you don't want, you can put them into trash slots in your inventory, and logistics bots will remove those from your inventory, clean up your inventory for you, and then go chest the trash somewhere. Then you also have construction bots. Construction bots are amazing. Basically, for construction bots, you lay down a blueprint or you copy paste something existing, and the construction bots will search for the resources being constructed by your factory. You'll be storing those resources into these kinds of chests, basically provider chests. The construction bots will go to those chests, grab the resources that they need in order to build the thing, and then they'll build it for you. So instead of you laying the belts and you laying the inserters and you laying all the buildings and assembly machines, your construction bots will do it for you. And they have a base, right? So this is the RoboPort. The RoboPort provides the robots power, provides them range in order to operate. So as long as they're within range of one or more RoboPorts, they'll assist you. Logistics bots and construction bots. So pretty cool stuff. Oh my goodness, it just opened up all of the bot tips. Goodness gracious. All right, well, we'll go through this really quick because, again, I don't want them just chilling here in the bottom left corner. So for personal logistics, basically what I explained, right? Personal logistics, your factory will produce stuff. In this case, your factory is producing steel and green circuits. Your logistics bots can gather those resources and bring them to you. So what you do is in your inventory, you set up requests and you specify, hey, in my inventory, I always want to have at least X number of some item. So you could say something like, I always want at least 200 bars of steel, right? I always want at least 200 steel plates. You set that up, and the logistics bots will continually bring you steel until that request has been met, until you have at least 200 plates in your inventory. So that's what the logistics bots do. We have the construction bots. As you can see, there was a blueprint placed down. They got the resources from the chest, and they constructed the thing. You can also have them deconstruct something. So here they constructed based on a blueprint. If you don't need that thing anymore, you can mark items for deconstruction, and the bots will deconstruct the thing and put it in chests. Cool. There's also a feature called the upgrade planner, right? So you guys already know that there's yellow belts and red belts, right, which are faster. So you can use the upgrade planner to basically tell your construction bots, hey, I want to upgrade all my yellow belts to red belts. And you can mark the area, right? And then your construction bots will basically gather all the red belts, and they will upgrade all the yellow belts to red belts and then bring the yellow belts back to a box. So they'll do the upgrading for you. You don't have to manually do the upgrades yourself. Sweet! You can upgrade plan basically anything. You can upgrade from one chest type to another. You can upgrade from one assembly machine to another. You can upgrade from one belt to another, one inserter to another, etc., etc. Basically anything that has a higher level to it, you can upgrade. You can also, I think you can also side grade, though I've never tried side grading, but I think you can side grade. That's something that you guys can experiment with if you've got the full game, and something I'll probably experiment with later, because I haven't tried that out yet, but I think it might be possible. All right, so now it's going to go over the different types of basic chests for bots that the bots use. So you've got the passive provider chest. Basically, the passive provider chest supplies items to the logistics network. That means that any items in the red chest can be used by logistics bots and construction bots to do whatever needs to be done. Logistics bots will grab items from these chests in order to fulfill logistics requests. Construction bots will use items in this chest in order to fulfill construction requests, right? If you have items that are in, let's say, steel boxes or iron boxes, robots can't use those boxes. Robots have to use these different colored boxes for different things. The red passive provider chests are one of the more common. And my wife is calling me. I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just FYI, I'm probably going to be interrupted again. She said she's going to call me back in a few minutes, but I'll keep trying to explain as best I can. So yeah, that's the passive provider chests. So up next are the storage chests. Basically, the storage chests store items that are taken from your trash or from deconstruction orders, and they place them in yellow chests. So the red chests are for them taking resources from the factory to go and do something, like give you the items or construct something. The yellow chests are for them to trash items, more or less. But you're not trashing them. You're not getting rid of them. They're still stored in the chest. But that's what they're used for. So when the bots deconstruct something, they'll bring it back to the yellow chests. When your logistics robots are taking stuff from your inventory, they'll bring them back to yellow chests. That's what the storage chests are. Bots are really cool. I'm hoping to be able to show you those when we get to free play eventually, because I love bots. I love them. All right, so where were we? We had just finished mining automation, right? So we've got our power. We've got our mining. We are currently smelting some copper and some iron. So now what we need to do is we need to start automating research, right? So we can research automobilism. So let's go ahead and start with, see, do I have any assemblers? I've got 2. Woohoo! Let's start with automating things that we are going to use a lot of, right? So that way we're not constantly pocket crafting everything. I'm not going to automate everything because this tutorial level does not have a lot of resources. It's a really small map with not a lot of resources, so I don't want to use all the resources just assembling every possible thing that we can build. I like to do that in free play though. Like if you can build it, I like to automate it in free play, but in free play you have unlimited resources, right? And my wife is calling me back. I will see you guys again soon. Stick around. All right, welcome back. I'm back. Cool. So what were we up to? We were in the process of thinking about automating stuff that we commonly use, right? So let's think about stuff that we commonly use that we're going to need. So we're already mining everything that we need to mine, right? We're already mining everything that we need to mine. So what else do we need to automate? Well, we use a lot of belts, so we're probably going to want those. We use inserters, so we're probably going to want those. So let's start with that. So again, I'm just going to make myself some space here. Or you know what? Let's keep it simple. I'll go ahead and just handcraft everything that I need, except for the science. That way, again, we'll keep it simple, and then you can learn how to automate the stuff yourself. So yeah, I still am gonna have to clear up space though. Yeah, let's start working on automating science. I'm also gonna need to handcraft, let's see. I've got a good amount of inserters. I'm gonna need to start crafting some belts and some splitters. So let's go ahead and grab some iron. Let's grab some copper. Perfect. You can take my copper out of my inventory. You can take the iron out of my inventory. I don't need the coal anymore, so you can take all that too. Cleaning up your inventory always feels nice. Okay. So let's see. I'm also going to need some more assembly machines because I've only got 2. So let's start crafting what we need. So we're going to need some more iron. We'll just start the queue up and then we'll get to work. Okay, so what do we need to make red science? We need iron gears and we need copper plates, right? And we want to make enough science to keep our labs, which we don't have, happy. Let's also craft some labs, shall we? Let's do like 5. Sounds good. So while we're crafting stuff, let's go ahead and extend this out. We're making what's called a mini bus, right? We're making kind of sort of a bus, but it's really small, so I'm going to just call it a mini bus. I'll explain what a bus is probably in the next tutorial when we're probably going to actually need a bus. Or want a bus. You don't ever need a bus. A bus is just a way to organize your resources and structure to keep yourself organized. It's just a way to organize yourself is all. So, okay. So for red science, we need copper, plates, and iron gear wheels. So let's go ahead and split off the iron. And then we're going to go ahead and place, let's see, how do we want to do this? I think I'm going to do it like this, just for kicks. Just remember though, you don't have to do it my way. Please experiment. Okay, I'm going to take in iron here, and then I'm going to output it there, and then that reaches, right? Okay, perfect. Perfect. You're going to make gears, and then you're going to make gears. Now, I just copy pasted the recipe. How did I do that, right? So let's go ahead and clear these recipes out if I can, or change them to something different. I'm going to change them to red science, right, manually. So to manually change a recipe, you click on it, you click the little gears here, and you can change the recipe of the assembler to whatever you want. An assembler is an automated way to assemble stuff that you could also craft in your pocket, or even to assemble things that you're not allowed to craft in your pocket, which we'll discover in the next tutorial. But yeah, how to copy paste recipes. So let's change this one to gears, right? So we're going to go to intermediate products, gears, close, and we see that this one doesn't have a recipe on it. So to copy, you're going to hold shift and right click. You'll hear a little click or a little beep there. You hear that? And then you're going to shift left click on the other assembler and boom, copy paste, copy paste. Lovely. So now we have automated iron gears. We don't have any assemblers yet. We're still chewing through our production queue. I thought I was producing assemblers. What happened? I guess I didn't. Well, it's gonna have to wait a little while then, because we have a production queue to chew through. So while we're waiting on that, let's see, is there anything else that I need to explain? I can't think of anything immediately, so because of that, because I don't need to explain anything immediately, I'm going to go ahead and just skip ahead. That way you guys don't have to wait for the hand cue to go. So I'll see you guys in a sec. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have finished crafting the labs. We are almost done crafting the assemblers. So let's go place our labs down. And I thought I didn't have labs already, so I crafted 5. So now I have a total of 9. Turns out I already had 4 before, but all good. We've got 9 labs. So I'm just going to throw the labs. I guess I'll just throw them up here, because why not? So let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm going to do something like that. And then let's do 1 space apart. Just in case. Just in case we need some space. And then we're going to go back, 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 back. And now I kind of want to make 1 more lab. So, because 9 is not a cool number. I want 1 more. So let's get some more iron. Let's craft another lab. There we go. I'll be happy. All right. So what am I doing with the labs here, right? So labs take in science, as we already know. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on basically running a belt of science, let's say that way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have the labs pick them up. And then as we read in the tooltip, right, that came up on the left at one point, I don't remember if it was this tutorial or last tutorial level, but either way, labs can pass science to each other. So you can have multiple rows of labs and they just share, right? And it's great. Sharing is cool. Let's go ahead and get this all powered up. Lovely. It's all powered up. And we have our last lab. So we're going to hit Q and stick that there. Hit Q for the inserter, stick that there, and lovely. So now let's go ahead and start making our red science, right? So we're going to be crafting gears. Let's go ahead and let's start crafting some more power poles too, because we're going to need them. All right. So let's go ahead and kick off our lovely crafting of gears. Like that, see? And they're going to start crafting gears. Lovely. And they're bottlenecked, so I'm actually going to throw another inserter onto each of those, so that way they're not bottlenecked anymore. See, now they're constantly producing. It's not waiting on the iron plates anymore for more than like a millisecond. So that's a lot more optimal. So they're producing. Now we're going to use that, and we're going to use copper to go ahead and make our science for us, right? So let's see now. Let's just do let's do 4, 8. Let's do 8. And then let's select science, shift right click, shift left click, shift left click. And then if you can't reach, just run down, shift left click. And then input, 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 input. Input, 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 input. We're going to need to also input some copper, right? So let's prepare for that. And then let's split some copper off to have it go this way. So I need a splitter right there, right? But the iron's in the way. So what I like to do is I like to figure out exactly where the line's going to go, and then go up, and then go back 2, and then go forward 2. And that gives you just enough space to go ahead and split off. And if you need to do a half belt split, you just extend 1 more, and then you can half belt split. Let me show you how that looks. So you go 1 more out, and then you can put a backwards belt there, and then like that, and now you've half belt split, which is great. Cool. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a full split because I don't need to optimize my resources to that degree. And it's all good. And then same deal here, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, split you, go down. And then we need red inserters, the long inserters. So let's go ahead and grab the red inserters, put them on our hotbar there, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to output onto a belt, and we're going to have the belt go around. And that's going to go on the far side of the belt. And then we want that to go like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to balance it, actually. So let's just do this. No, I'm not going to worry about balancing it. I'll teach you guys balancing later. I don't want to overdo the tutorial, overcomplicate it. There's no need to overcomplicate it. Aw, sad. I really should have planned it better. So if you want to plan it without actually laying the belts like I did, what you can do is you can hold shift and it turns what you're holding into a ghost. And then you can do something like that and be like, all right, I want the belts to go there. So that way I know how far over I want to go and then up. There we go. Lovely. Now all we need to do is turn this on, right? So let's go ahead and power this stuff on. So we're going to go Seems reasonable. And then Perfect. Or at least good enough. And you can see science takes a little while to craft. So that's why I wanted a lot of assemblers, right? Because I want a lot of science. And then let's go ahead and follow this up. And I'm going to go ahead and let it stack up a little bit first, just so you can see how the labs all share, right? So I'll let this stack up a little bit. In the meantime, is there anything else I need to craft? Let's do a few more of those. Let's do some more assemblers. Grab some more iron. Do some more assemblers. How's our electricity? Electricity is lovely. We have plenty of electricity. All right, so this is starting to stack up a little bit, right? So now you're going to see we're currently in the process of researching electronics, right? So let's go ahead and connect our belt here. And you're going to see the labs start sharing, right? See, they share. It's lovely. And you can see that they let the science go down the belt. They share really nicely. And now everything is researching. Hooray! We're researching electronics. How lovely. So now that we're doing red science, now let's look at green science, which we haven't researched yet. So maybe after electronics, we'll research green science. So let's get that research going. I'm going to go ahead and remove that belt because it's not necessary and the red science don't need to stack there. We'll just dump the red science there at the end. Perfect. Perfect. And the rate of our science production is not keeping all the labs happy, which means I would normally want to produce more red science, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. If you want to optimize that by building more red science, you go for it. You go for it. Also, just to note, this is not the only way to do red science. There's actually really cool ways to do red science. This is just a quick and dirty way. So feel free to make your own cool, crafty designs. Okay, so electronics is done. Let's go ahead and open this up. Normally I like to just kind of go from left to right, because why not, you know? in the end, because the factory is continually growing, you're just going to end up researching everything anyway. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to green science because I want to start automating that for you guys relatively quickly. And then I'll just start going left to right. So, researching green science, researching green science. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I guess while I've got you here, while waiting for the green science to go, something I can show you is let's grab our radar dish, right, that we took down from the very start of this tutorial level. And when I grab it and close my inventory, notice the mini-map and how there's a blue box now on the mini-map. And if I move far enough, the blue box moves. That blue box on the mini-map is showing the vision range of this radar. And what I mean by vision is, let's say that let's go ahead and just place our radar here in our base, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and place it right here. So our radar's in our base, right? Now, if I run way far away from the base, let's go up to this corner up here. If I run way far away from the base, normally, and I should have removed the radar to show this more appropriately, normally, when you open the map and try to zoom into your base, it stays looking like this, right? It doesn't actually show you the details of what you're looking at. But because we put a radar there and that large vision is there, we can zoom in and take a look. And I'm just dragging around, right? I can look anywhere within the range of the radar. So it's really common practice, for example, to take radars and spread them out nice and even as you continually expand your factory. Notice that I can't see over here because my character is way over here, so he can't see there, and there's no radar coverage there either. So I can't see up here, right? It's blurry. So as you expand your factory and take more ground for yourself, you'll want to put radars and stuff. When you can see out of range like that, it's because the radar is scanning that area. Pretty cool. Anyway, push M to close your map. Let's run back to base. Our green science has finished, so now let's just start researching left to right. So let's do fast inserters, because why not? We're not going to use fast inserters. At least I don't plan on it. But if we do need them, we'll use them. But I don't think I'll need them. So let's research fast inserters. And now let's take a look at green science, right? So green science, in order to automate, requires one transport belt and one inserter. So now we have some multi-level stuff going on, right? Here, all we had to do is manufacture gears, and then I just ran them up the middle, and then I just brought the copper in on one side, and we outputted with long inserters, right? The green science is a bit more complicated. We need to build transport belts and inserters, and then run those through. So let's get started by bringing our minibus along, right? Clear out some space for ourselves. And again, I'm just going to do a quick and dirty approach. You guys can do a more organized approach, right? Do what you guys want and clean it up, build it, make the factory yours. Our fast inserter research is done. So let's go ahead and hit T and let's start steel. All right, so for belts require one iron plate and one iron gear wheel. So how do I want to do that? Well, like I said, I'm just going to quick and dirty it. So let's go ahead and break off some iron plates here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw an assembly machine here and an assembly machine here. And I'm going to say you do gears. And I'm going to say you do belts. And I'm going to drag this around. And then we're going to input and input. And I'm going to have the gears input into the belt assembler. Boom. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to output it. Let's output it that way. Now, that's all set up. So now let's do inserters is what we need, right? Yep, inserters. So if we hover over inserters, we need iron plates, iron gears, and electronic circuits, right? So that's a lot more complicated. But let's break it down one bit at a time, right? We can do the same thing over here with the iron gears. Easy peasy. So that's taken care of. Copy paste. Now we need electronic circuits because our iron plate's also taken care of, right? So input, input, input. Let's say we want inserters. And then input. But now electronic circuits, right? Now electronic circuits, there's an optimal way to build them, and I'll teach you that later. I'm going to do it very suboptimally. Just very suboptimally. Don't worry about it. It'll be cool. It'll be cool. And I think I'm going to actually output on the outside. Yeah, I'm going to just output on the outside like that. And then what I can do is that perhaps, or something like that a little bit later. Either way, I'm going to produce that on the outside. Okay, so now let's do green circuits. So I want the green circuit to insert into the inserter. So I want you to be green circuits. Green circuits need copper cables. Okay? Copper cables, if we ever over that, needs one copper plate. So we need to bring our copper plate down for the ride. So let's bring our copper plate down for the ride. Where do I want to do the copper plate? Maybe I'll just bring it down the side. Again, quick and dirty. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to say you build copper cable. And we're going to do that. So I need to bring the copper down that way. Our little 1, 2, 2. Split off and go down. There we go. So that's going to feed in our 1 copper plate, and it's going to spit out 2 copper cables. So this is an interesting manufacture, right? It spits out 2 copper cables for each copper plate it consumes. The electronic circuits require 3 copper cables. So what that means is we're going to actually end up waiting a little bit on the copper cables. You can optimize it by adding an additional copper cable machine. I could even do that, I suppose, because why not? But I'm not gonna. So we're gonna be waiting a little bit on copper cable. So it's not perfectly efficient. You can make it more efficient, like I said, by adding a second copper cable. And then, you know what? We can do that. I'll show you guys a little bit more efficient. Undo, undo, undo. There we go. I'm gonna want to move you there and there, like that. And I think I'm gonna want fast inserters for this. Anyway, research queue's done. Let's hit T. Let's keep going. Heavy armor, sure, why not? And let's actually make some fast inserters. So I'm gonna make like 10, because I'm not planning on using that many, but fast inserters will be nice here. So that way our copper cables can be output more quickly. And then I'm gonna go ahead and input here and input here. And then I can route the copper around like this. 1, 2. Split. There we go. So now we have copper cable going into, and we've actually finished our fast inserters. So let's put them there, and we can just click over the yellow ones and it'll upgrade them and throw the yellow ones back into our inventory. So we have copper cable going into green circuits, going into inserter. We have our gears going into our inserter. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to output that way. And then what do I want to do? I can route the belts all the way around. Yeah, I'll do that. I was considering undergrounding, but it's fine. And then I'm going to load them on one half of the belt like that. And then let that come out. And then this is going to actually output on the far side of the belt, right? Remember the rules of the inserters? Inserters always output on the far side of the belt. So we're going to have we're going to have our, whatchamacallem, our belts get output on the outside, but we're going to force them onto the inside like this. And then this is going to output on the outside. And then we'll be able to take this and make green science with it. Cool, huh? Cool. I'm just going to temporarily throw it onto our mini bus here. Lovely. Now let's go ahead and power this on and make sure it all works, huh? Because we need to know. Is it going to work? We're going to find out. Okay, so far the belts are working. Lovely. Oh, we didn't actually power on this guy. So let's power this guy on. That might be a nice thing to do. There we go. And then, oh, it's not getting the iron plates it needs. There we go, fixed it. And now, hooray, our inserters are working and our research is done. Let's go ahead and open that up and let's do steel axe. Let me actually explain what these researches are all doing, right? So that way you can kind of understand why they're there and why they're even important, right? So green science is necessary to progress our tech tree in general. Makes sense. So you need green science. Steel is a resource where you can take iron plates and then run them through a smelting system again, right? So stone furnaces or higher upgraded furnaces. And you convert your iron plates into steel plates. So that's another resource for you in order to build stuff. The heavy armor is helpful because it increases your defense. So when you're out fighting biters, you can take more damage. Fast inserters allow you to build fast inserters and filter inserters. I'm not going to show you filter inserters yet, but I can later. Fast inserters are just, as they're named, they're fast inserters. They move a lot faster than a regular inserter. A filter inserter is a fast inserter where you can set a filter so that the filter inserter only grabs a certain item. So if you have two items on the belt, right, like this belt, for example, where I have inserters and belts on the belt, you can put a filter inserter and tell the filter inserter only grab belts. And then the filter inserter will only grab belts, even though there's also inserters on the belt. It will just ignore the inserters and only grab belts. So filter inserter, really cool. What else do we do? Electronics, that's a part of the tech tree that doesn't really unlock anything, but it's needed for higher tech items like fast inserters or assembly machines 2, automation 2, which we haven't researched yet. Logistics, which is one of the first things we researched, that gives you access to underground belts and splitters. Military gives you access to submachine guns, which are really nice, as you guys already saw, much better than the pistol. Stone walls lets you build stone walls, which is great for defense. Keep the biters out, let your turrets shoot them over the wall. Boom, bam, easy early game defense. Speaking of turrets, you feed them ammo, they shoot bad guys. Optics allows you to build lights. I haven't been building lights, and to be fair, I probably should be building lights because whenever it's nighttime, I'm sure the video is really dark for you guys. So maybe I should be building lights. Let me go ahead and build a few just to show you how they work next time it's nighttime. And then let me go ahead and add, lights to my bar down here. And I'm going to throw some lights here, and let's say here, and let's say here. Because why not? Let's throw some lights here, and up here. Let's throw some lights here, and here, and here, and here. Lights obviously are just lights. They're going to light up the area at night. They don't use electricity during the day because they're not turned on. They aren't needed during the day. But at night, they'll flip on. They'll take a little bit of your electricity. They consume 5 kilowatts of electricity. It's not very much. And they provide light at night. Lovely. Open the tech tree. What else are we doing? So that's lights. Automation gives you access to long-handed inserters, thread inserters, and the assembly machine level 1, which is what we're using to automate our red science and our belts and inserters right now. And then what we're researching now is called Steel Axe. Steel Axe is just a free upgrade. Once you've researched it, your pick gets upgraded. So you can mine manually resources faster, which you will never do by this point, right? There's no reason to mine manually. But it will also let you chop trees faster. So right now, before the research is done, it takes 3 chops to kill a tree. With Steel Axe, it takes 1 or 2, depending on the tree. Sometimes it only takes 1 and it goes down real quick. It usually takes 2 hits instead of 3. So it just makes clearing trees that much nicer. It also makes clearing rocks a lot nicer too. Like earlier in this tutorial level, there were a couple of rocks on these rocks, right? So we just broke the rocks. There's rocks over here. I can show you what I mean. So you mine the rocks, right, to break them. It's like breaking the trees. The Steel Axe will make that go a lot faster too. So that way, if you need to clear the area, like look how long that's taking. Oh my goodness, such a pain. I'm not gonna finish it, but such a pain, right? So once the Steel Axe is done researching, it just lets you kill stuff faster, which is lovely. Cool. Let's see, what else? These are weapon upgrades. So this upgrades your bullets. This increases your weapon shooting speed by 1, which is really nice. Makes your SMG fire faster. And I think it also increases the speed of your turrets too, which is nice. And then this one is projectile damage +1. So it increases the damage of your bullets and your turrets and your shotgun shells by 1 damage, which is really nice. In free play, when you're fighting biters at a more regular basis, they evolve over time. And some evolutions of the biters get more and more armor over time. So extra damage is going to help you punch through that armor. It's going to be really nice. Automation 2 gives you level 2 assemblers. They assemble faster. They eat a little bit more power, so you'll have to increase your electricity output, right? But they assemble faster. Makes your overall factory production go faster, which is lovely. We have engines. Engines is another mediary component. It does unlock the ability to assemble engines, and then you'll use engines as a component for cars. So yeah, automobilism gives you the ability to make a car. Yay, cars! And then logistics 2 gives you access to red belts, red underground belts, and red splitters. Red belts are faster than yellow belts. Red underground belts are faster than yellow underground belts, and they have a longer distance that they can go underground. So they can stretch farther. I don't remember the exact range, but in the next tutorial level, there's some red belts and red undergrounds that they give us for free. I can show you the range then. And then red splitters are the same thing as yellow splitters, but again, faster. They split faster. So faster belts, basically. And that's all the tech that comes in tutorial level 4 that we're in right now. There's a lot more tech in the full game, right? This is just a small taste. So let's go ahead and close this. We'll let the Steel Axe finish. Now that we've got this stuff assembling, let's go ahead and... how do I want to do this? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it out, right? I'm going to have one go down that side. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 green science. Input, 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 input. Output, 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 output. And then we're going to output that way. And so output, 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 input, 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 input. You are going to make green science, copy, paste, paste. Lovely. You're going to come all the way down here. And then you are going to come down here. And then, how do I want to do this? Because the red science is coming on this side. Our steel axe is done. Let's go ahead and start the next research. Weapon shooting speed, sure. Let's see now. I'm gonna go ahead and output this way. Again, messy. I'm embracing the mess, right? I'm just kind of doing this on the fly, not really planning it out. All that fun jazz, right? Feel free to make your factory cleaner than mine. Feel free to make it messier than mine. And boom, there we go. The green science is going to come out, and then I'm forcing it onto the right side of the belt. So that way it can share the belt with the red science. Cool! Let's power this on and see if it works. Should work. I don't see why not. There we go. I think it's going. Perfect. And now we should be getting green science any minute now. There we go. Science takes a little while to build, as you can see. Just like with the red science, it takes a while. But all good. And I think just one assembler of each of these will keep up. When we come back and check on green science, if it's struggling to keep up, we can always add more, right? We can always add more. But I think one should keep up okay. And even if it doesn't, it's just a tutorial level. We don't have to go that far down the tech tree. We don't have to optimize that much, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work, right? That's all that really matters. It just has to work. It doesn't have to be perfect. It looks like it is keeping up okay, though. I'm not seeing it drop too low. You know, some of it gets input, and then we get some more, and it stacks up. So yeah, all is well. I think the one keeps up just fine. So yeah. You can see that our labs are starting to take in the green science. It's not using the green science right now. So even though there's green science in the labs, what we're researching only takes red science, just as a heads up. So it's not actually using the green science. It's just storing them, getting them ready for any research that's going to require the green science. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Extend our mini bus. See, that was like 1.5 chops. Let's see. I think we can turn it at this point. So let's turn it. Actually, I think I'm going to go all the way to the end here. Oh, I'm out of belts. Let's craft some more belts. I can also steal the belts from our green science, but that might not be the best idea. But I'm going to do a little bit of that stealing anyway. And you can see we're actually using our iron now. Hooray! Our iron's actually getting used now. We might need more iron later. But we don't have any more iron on our map. We only have coal and copper and stone sitting out on the map. So, all good. Anyway, let us proceed. Go ahead and route that way. Route that way. And then I can extend our mini bus out and around, so that way when I need to assemble stuff, I can. Now, we've researched steel already, right? Just as a heads up, I know we're going to need steel, so let me go ahead and start smelting it, right? Now, there's a couple of ways we can do this. I'm going to do it the quick and easy way, as you guys are already finding out. The quick and easy way. So I'm going to do... Let's see. What am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I'm thinking of taking half of this. Okay, yeah, this'll work. This'll work. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and make that straight and then have that go in. Actually, I'm gonna do... and then have you go in and have you just cross over and go out this way. Perfect. And then I'm going to say, I'm not going to want to do too much because I don't want to overuse the iron, because we're already using a lot of our iron in order to do science, right? So yeah. So let's see, we're going to want to output steel. We're going to want, oh, hold on. I need one more space there. So we're going to want to input iron and coal. And we're going to want to output steel. Rinse and repeat. So I want that to output this way. And then I want to do that, and that, and that. And then I want to go like that. And then I want to go like, whoops, too far. That. Perfect. And then I want you to go in like that. Hooray! And now we have an output of steel. Then we're going to have that shoot across, and I think this reaches. Hooray, it reaches! Nice. Nice and clean. Nice. And then what we're going to do is I think I'm going to take half of the iron and go in that way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little sneaky. I'm going to actually put a priority, right? So let me tell you what that means basically. So right now it's taking the iron that's being produced and it's splitting it 50-50, right? Between this belt and this belt. Now, I want to make sure that all of this gets all the iron it needs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a priority. I'm going to say output priority, and I want the output priority on the right. And the reason I want it on the right is so that way this gets the iron it needs first, and then any leftovers can go this way. So the steel is going to come up short, basically. Steel will come up short, but that's fine. We're not going to need steel that much in this tutorial level. And in the next tutorial levels, we'll get a lot more iron to play with. I need more inserters. Whoops, other way. I guess I'll do another one. There we go. That way I'm nice and even. Now, I'm not gonna over harp on this in this tutorial level. It might come into play a bit more in the next one. But basically, just one thing for y'all to know is that, let me just finish this before I try to finish my thought. There we go. So just as a heads up, let me show you something. So steel, right? Here's steel. We can't pocket craft any of these, right? That's why they're in red. I try to click on them, you can't craft them by hand. So even if you have the ore on hand, whoop-de-doo, you can't craft them. So iron plate takes one iron ore and some coal, right? Furnace, and it outputs one iron plate. A steel plate takes 5 iron plates to produce one steel plate. Now, that's going to consume a lot of the iron plates, right? But one thing to notice too is that the steel plate takes 16 seconds of crafting time in order to make. The iron plates take 3.2 seconds of crafting time to make. What that means is that the output of iron matches perfectly into the same level of input for steel. So if I wanted to fully use all of the iron coming out of here, I could make a smelting column or row the exact same size, and this smelting row, if I made it the exact same size, would consume all of the iron from here. It would consume it all. So that's why I don't want to overdo it. But yeah, now we have steel. So let's take our steel and let's throw it onto our bus. Bus, bus, bus. Look at our little spaghetti factory. And then I think I want steel on the far side, actually. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's fine, it can stay on the inside. All right, let's go ahead and do engines, because we want to get cars. So we need engines to get cars. So let's go ahead and research engines. While our steel backs up, we're going to need that steel, so I'm just going to let it keep backing up. But see, notice how the output priority is working? You can also see the little arrow pointing where the output priority is. So that way, at a glance, you can see, oh, output priority is on the right here. So once this fills up, then you see some iron slip through here as soon as this backs up. So that's okay. It looks like that's keeping our furnaces happy anyway. So yeah, this is working out perfectly. We're keeping our whole factory nice and happy with all of the iron at once. And our steel furnace is not starving for iron. At least not yet. There is a potential bottleneck coming up though. If we continue to expand the factory and if we continue to consume our iron even more quickly, eventually no iron will make it onto this belt at all. And then our steel will starve, right? So that's the big downside of doing this. As our factory grows, we're going to consume more iron. That's just how it goes. And as we consume more iron, this is going to get less iron over time, and we're going to get less steel over time, and that's going to bottleneck us. So normally you don't want to do something like this, but in this tutorial level, because there's no additional iron on the map, I don't really have much of a choice. Also, I think we could produce even more iron more quickly because it's not eating all of the ore. So what I can do is I can make some more space and expand this out in order to expand our iron production, because I think that would be nice. That way, as we continue to expand our factory, everything will be fine. So let's go ahead and add like 4 more on each side and see how that works out. And then let's power this on. Lovely. And engines is done. What else do we need? We need logistics 2. So let's do logistics 2. And now we're producing more iron plates than before by 8 furnaces. Lovely! Hooray! More efficient, more effective. All that fun stuff. All that fun stuff. And now you can see our steel smelting is starving a little bit. It's pretty smoothly taking in the iron ore, so I don't think we can expand this much more. The iron ore belt is almost constantly moving. I might be able to expand it a little tiny bit more, but I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it as it is now. Maybe. Yeah. Now something else too that you might be noticing is one side of the belt is not getting smushed together. It's not getting compacted, but the other side of the belt is getting compacted. Now that's because a lot of stuff is coming onto just that one side of the belt. When a splitter splits, it keeps the resource on the same side of the belt it goes into. So these are all outputting on the right side, on the bottom of the belt. These are all outputting on the bottom of the belt. So there's a lot going on the bottom of the belt here. And then this is roughly 50-50. So there's just a lot on this side of the belt. So we can do what's called balancing. We can balance that. And how you would balance a belt is you remove it, and then you can do something like this, where you do a little bit of loop-de-loops, and then you say, hey, I want to take whatever's coming out of the splitter and just throw it onto both sides of the belt. And now both sides of the belt will get compact, and this should now move along smoother. So now we're fully compacting the belt. It's nice. The belt is now balanced. And with the belt being more balanced, I'm noticing that it's still not eating all of the iron ore. So we can smelt even more. So let's expand this out a little bit more. Clear some more room. Let's add... I need to actually make more furnaces. There we go. And let's do 1, 2, 3 more. Let's do 4 more. Let's power this on. There we go. And now we are producing even more iron plates. So that should help. Yep. All right. Our steel plates are now happy again. Lovely. Logistics 2 is taking a while, and it's not due to lack of science production. You can see we're actually pretty well backed up on science production. Our labs just aren't researching it all that fast. So what do? We grow the factory. Let's make more labs. So we can make 3. I want to make 5. So I'm going to steal some of the resources off of our bus. And how do you steal resources? Remember the hotkey for that? It's F. So F to vacuum up whatever's on the ground or on a belt. And now I can make 5 labs. And then we can expand our labs. Expand the labs. Research more quickly. Well, we will once we... Don't worry about the inserters putting the science on the ground. It's okay. When I place the labs, they'll get picked up. And I think I'll actually end up picking them up, so I'll have to put them back into the labs. And that's fine. Whatever. No worries. So we'll wait for that. Is there anything else I want to do or teach you guys? Let's check electricity. Our electricity is almost tapped out. So what does that mean? We need to expand electricity. So how would we do that? Well, we just make more boilers and more engines, right? So let's make another 3 boilers. And then let's make plenty more engines, which means I need a lot of iron. So I'm going to go steal more iron from our minibus here. I'm all about stealing that iron. Steal the iron. So we're making 3 boilers, right? So that means we want 6 steam engines. So there's the first 4. Steal some more iron. Five, 6. There we go. These lights are red. That means there's no more ore. So I can go ahead and just clean that up. This light is red. That means there's no ore. We can clean that up. These lights are red. That means there's no ore. We can clean that up. Actually, is there ore here? I thought, okay. There's a little bit of ore there. Not much, but whatever. That'll run out really soon. All right, we've made our boilers. So let's go ahead and expand that out. So we're gonna go in, and then I'm gonna grab a pipe. I need to make a pipe. And then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna go, and then we're gonna say this, and we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna do that, that. And then I'm going to do that, and that, and that, and that. Bring that along for the ride. And again, I don't want to run out of power, so I'm going to do the output priority thing here too. So I'm going to say output priority left this time, because I want to make sure my power gets the coal first. The rest of my factory can slow down. But if you run out of power, that's a bad problem to have. There we go. Now let's take a look at our power. Now we're doing great. We can produce 10 megawatts, almost, well, we can produce 11 megawatts basically, and we're using 5. Lovely. We've also made more labs, so let's go ahead and expand that. Let's also put some lights down, because I don't like working in the dark, and I'm sure you guys don't like seeing a black video. There we go. And then, yep, sure enough. All right. Research faster, please. Research faster. All right. We overexpanded our furnaces. As you can see here, these last 4 just aren't working at all, right? That's fine. We can just tear them down. No biggie. There we go. No biggie. We have some extra coal in our inventory. You guys can have it. Let's go and make more power poles in case we need them. Just waiting for the research. Our steel is backing up nicely. I love to see it. Our green science has backed up all the way back to the assemblers. And what you're going to notice is eventually these assemblers are just gonna, yeah, like these ones. These ones are done working. They can't place any more science onto the belt. So they stocked up 4 and now they're done. They're not gonna use any more resources. There's no need to, right? It's fully backed up. So all good. We're almost done researching logistics too. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Again, I love playing Factorio. It's so much fun. I mean, it's so satisfying to see your factory work. Isn't this amazing? You mine resources, you send those resources out to generate electricity, you use that electricity to mine more stuff more effectively. You can then turn those resources into plates, you then turn those plates into other plates, you then turn all the plates into stuff in order to build more stuff. The factory continues to grow. It's just super satisfying. All right, we're finally at automobilism. Let's research that. And while it's researching, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. So I will see y'all shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Our automobilism research is done. Our objective has now changed. We are now supposed to build a car. So let's go ahead and just keep the research going, because why not? Now we need to build a car. So let's open up our inventory here, our crafting menu. You can see we've got all sorts of other stuff we can craft now too. So feel free to experiment. Anyway, a car. A car takes 20 iron plates, 5 steel plates, and 8 engine units. Now a car, funnily enough, you can pocket craft. However, the engine units you can't. You must use an assembler in order to make engines. So let's go ahead and start assembling our engine. So we need steel, iron gears, and pipes. So that basically means we need steel and iron. So let's go ahead and split off some steel. And then let's also split off some iron. There we go. Not ideal, but whatever. It gets the job done. And then we're going to grab... So let's see. Engines, again, they need steel, which we've got already. Pipes and iron gears, right? So let's do iron gears, feed into engines. Pipes feed into engines. So you do gears. You do pipes. You guys feed into engines. Engine. You take in steel. Gears, you take in iron. Pipes require only one iron. So you take in iron. And then let's power it all on. And then we want our engines to output into a box, and I'm going to go ahead and just limit the box to 1 square. That way we don't overproduce engines. After all, we only need to build 1 car, and 1 car only needs 8 engines, so I don't need more than a stack of engines. And then we're going to let that ride for a little while. Engines are one of those things that also takes a long time to craft. So we have assembly machines 2 now, right? No, not yet. That's actually the next thing I should research. If we had assembly machines 2, engines would be perfect for that upgrade. Make them craft a little bit faster. It's also really good on your science, but again, our labs aren't using all of our science fast enough anyway, so we don't need to upgrade them, at least not with the setup we have now. If we added more labs, then maybe we would need to upgrade our science. But all good. So yeah, we just gotta wait for our engines to produce. There's a lot of waiting for this final bit of the tutorial level, I'm noticing. Our research is done. Let's go ahead and grab automation 2. Once that's done researching, let's upgrade this engine guy. And then let me make sure I have the resources for the car. So the car needs 20 iron plates. I have 20 iron plates. It needs 5 steel plates. I've got that. Yep, I just need the engines. I just need the engines. And I've got 4. I mean, it's going fast enough. Not as fast as I'd like, but fast enough. Let's go ahead and chop the trees. What you're going to find out the longer you play Factorio is in the early game, trees are your friends. Because trees slow the spread of pollution, which means you won't get attacked by biters as soon. Hey, automation level 2 is done, and there's no more research left. So we're done researching, at least for this tutorial level. Let's make some assembly machine level 2s. So let's go ahead and just let's do 1 for now, it's fine. That way I can speed this up a little bit. We're at 6. Almost done, almost done. Upgrade you. Now go faster. See, it's going a little bit faster now. Assembly machine 2s, they take half the crafting time. So they craft faster than your pockets do. They take half the time. Assembly, oh wait, hold on. No, that's not right. That's not right. Oh, sorry, my bad, my bad. Crafting speed. I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at the crafting time it takes to actually craft. In your pocket, it takes half a second to craft. Assembly machine 1, its crafting speed is 0.5. Your pocket crafting speed is 1. So a regular assembly machine is half as fast as you pocket crafting yourself. A assembly machine 2 has a crafting speed of 0.75. So it's almost as fast as pocket crafting yourself. Almost, but not quite. So it's quite a bit faster. We should have 8 now. Yes, lovely. Let me go and take those. And let's build the car. Boom, now we have a car. Now let's go ahead and find it right here in our inventory and place it. And now we have a car. Sweet. Our car needs fuel though. So fuel the car and take it for a test drive. Press enter to get into the car. So cars take the same fuel that your smelters do. They can take wood, they can take coal. Later on, they can take solid fuel if you want them to. It's all good. So I'm gonna, do I have coal? I don't have coal. So let's go ahead and take some coal. Boom, took some coal. And then let's go ahead and fuel it. So we grab the coal from our inventory and we just toss it right in. And now it wants us to take it for a test drive. So push enter. Now I'm going to tell you right now, driving a car in Factorio is kind of painful. It's not a fun thing to do. They're quite difficult to control. I already hit a tree. So I'll just drive it in a circle. But yeah, practice driving with the car. You'll realize soon enough that it's not the greatest experience. It's a little awkward to control, but whatever. It's all good. I'm going to go ahead and craft some repair packs so that way I can repair my car. Alright, so that's enough joyriding. I should pack for the trip. I don't know what I'm walking into here. So now we need to pack stuff up into the car. So what do we need? We need iron plates, which I can get from my bus, copper plates, which I can get from my bus, firearm magazines, which I can assemble. So I should probably start assembling those. Gun turrets, which I should also probably assemble because I don't have very many of those. Coal and steel. So let's start assembling the gun turrets. So what do gun turrets need? Gun turrets need lots of iron and lots of copper. And some of that is gear wheels. I'm going to pocket craft the turrets. So while I'm pocket crafting the turrets, while I'm pocket crafting the turrets, 510, I need 5 more. 15, there we go. I can start putting together assembly machines for ammo. And I want it to go fast. So go fast. Lovely. And then limit you. Limit you. And turns out I only need 1, right? Yeah, it's not bottlenecked. That's fine. Cool. And then those are working. We're almost there. Those are working. We should get there relatively soon. Let's go ahead and gather the iron plate that we need. So we need 400 iron plate. So let's do that. I'm just gonna yank it from the bus, right? Yank it from the bus. How many does that? That's plenty. Perfect. So let's go ahead and open up our car. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our 400. We have our copper plate too. 1, 2. We've almost got our gun turrets. Do we have steel? We almost have our steel. Now we should have our steel. Yep, there's our steel. And then 100 coal. So let's get 100 coal. Okay, plenty of coal. Perfect. Our copper's almost out. Our copper's running dry, but that's okay. This is the last thing from this tutorial level. We're just about done. So, coal, right? Coal. There we go. That's plenty. Our turrets are just about done. That last one. Boom. There's our turrets. And then ammo is... We've got about 120. So we're not quite there yet. So we're going to give that just a little bit. How much ammo do I have in my inventory right now? 36. So once I get to 170, which would be 85 each, then I'll have enough. So I'm just going to wait for 85. It's almost there. Almost there, almost there, almost there. $85. 80, that's fine. And there's our 200. Boom. Got him. All right, that should be it. Let's go. Let's go. We beat tutorial level 4. It took us 2 hours. You can speedrun this sucker, by the way. You can get done with this really fast. So, like I said, if you haven't downloaded the demo already, download the demo. Play it. You're going to have a blast. You're going to love it. Experiment with these levels. Have fun. Play around. You can copy me if you want to, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm not doing things very efficiently, and I'm doing that on purpose, just to kind of show you that you can do your factory however you want, as inefficient as you want. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be sloppy. It can be messy. In fact, embrace the mess. As you're learning the game, you'll get more and more organized over time, right? Your first factory is always going to be messy. Always. Unless you download like someone's blueprint book and only do blueprints, but then you take away half the fun of the game. Because half the fun of the game is trying to figure out how to get stuff built, how to expand your factory. And if you just take someone else's blueprints, again, there's some awesome blueprints out there. So once you've learned the game, yes, go ahead, use blueprints, right? But the first couple of times that you play through the game, try not to use blueprints. You'll have a lot more fun that way, in my opinion. Embrace the mess. Anyway, that wraps up tutorial level 4. Hope you all had a fantastic time. As always, let me know if you have any questions, concerns, comments, whatever, in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.